Morning, afternoon, good night, welcome back, welcome to, appreciate the support. My name is Joe Josh. I go by iChart Daily. Follow me on X, the iChart Daily, and all the other good stuff. So in today's video, cuzzies, we're going to be going over 3 confirmations and using different time frames to help you understand if we are bullish or if we are bearish. Very simply put, not financial advice, but I have been doing technical analysis for 17 years, and unfortunately, your opinions do not matter to me. I care if I see certain confirmations playing out in the chart. This is for someone that is looking to just have a clear visual if we are bullish or if we are bearish, very simply put. So, the 3 confirmations that I am talking about is a golden cross or a death cross on a MACD. I want to know second confirmation, is the RSI, which is the blue line, above the yellow line or below the yellow line? I also want to know where the golden cross is and where the death cross is. I also want to know where the golden cross is and where the death cross is. On the stochastic RSI, I want to know, very simply put, are we in a golden cross structure? Are we in a death cross structure? And the last question is where? So once again, you want to ask yourself, is the MACD in a golden cross structure or a death cross structure? Where? Is the stochastic RSI above the moving average in a golden cross structure? Is the moving average below, is the RSI below the moving average in a death cross structure? And once again, where? Okay, so once again, golden cross structure below 50, golden cross structure above 50, and sometimes on the shorter time frames you get bullish structure, golden cross structure above the 70. Okay, last one, stochastic. Once again, golden cross structure where? Is it below the 20? Is it above the 50? Is it above the 80? Those 3 questions will help you identify momentum and bullish structure depending on the time frame we're looking at. Those confirmations, bullish cross, death cross, above, below, golden cross, death cross, golden cross, happen on every single time frame. The only difference is as I zoom in from the monthly to the 3-week, to the 2-week, to the weekly, all the way down to the daily, to the 12-hour, to the 4-hour, to the 30-minute, to the 2-minute. There's going to be waves. There's going to be confirmations. The only difference is the time frame that you look at has different percentages, right, up and down, and certain time frames that it usually takes for the waves to play out. So on a 5-minute time frame, right, you're looking at an hour and 25 minutes with a potential play of 1%. Okay? When we go to a weekly time frame and we look at those confirmations, we're looking at 100 days and potentially 70%. If we go to a daily time frame, we're looking for confirmation, and I'll go into them in a second, but this was 11% for 8 days. So when I do my one-on-ones with people, the first thing I ask is, what are you looking to get out of this? Are you looking to become a day trader? Well, then we just adjust the confirmations and the mindset to specific time frames. Do you have children, a 9 to 5 or a career, and you're just looking to have a better understanding and see through the nonsense of the news and understand if Bitcoin or whatever coin you're holding is bullish or bearish? We're looking at a weekly, 2-week, 3-week, and monthly. Because once again, when it happens on a monthly, right, this is confirmation, confirmation, confirmation. Here, this has been a great run of, right now we're at 792 days and 300% up from the confirmations. So you have to stop the video, look at the time frames that I have, go to the time frame, go to the confirmations, figure out how long and how much, and then say, I'm going to use around here. Now you can't use one, so if it's the daily time frame, I'm going to recommend one below, one above. So you're going to be looking at the 12-hour, the daily, and the 2-day. If you want to go to the weekly, I don't recommend just looking at the weekly. I recommend looking at like the 5-day to the 4-day to the left, and the 2-week to the 3-week to the right. If you're looking to day trade, wake up and do something daily, then you're looking at the 5-minute and potentially the 2-minute, and you're looking at the 5-minute and the 15-minute. And you're looking to see wave formations, and you're looking to see confirmations on the time frame before to see if it leads to confirmations on the time frame of the present that you're looking at. So now let's go into, well, before I go into the confirmations, yes, they do happen on all of the time frames, but you have a higher probability of having a fake out of the confirmation on the shorter time frames. And the shortest time frame that I usually recommend any amateur charter technical analysis person or trader is usually the 12-hour, the daily, and the 2-day time frame. Do not look at the 2-minute, 5-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour, because what happens is sometimes there's a confirmation on all three, and then 1-2 candles later, a huge candle the opposite way prints and deletes all of the data of the confirmations. Where if you're looking at a 3-day, a 4-day, a 5-day, or even a weekly chart, once the confirmations played out, you have a very high probability that it continued in that trend until the confirmations played out the other way. So now that I've gotten it all out there, let's get into the nitty-gritty and go over the confirmations. Once again, death cross, golden cross, where? Death cross, golden cross, where? Death cross, golden cross, where? Give you an example once again, stochastic RSI. Golden cross, where? Potential where? Golden cross, but potential where? Right? Death cross, but still above the 80. Death cross, but rejection by the 50. Okay? Now let's go over this, the wheres and the whys. Death cross on a MACD above the 0 line means yes, momentum to the downside. But if we do not break the 0 line, we do not break the previous low. Hence 38,000, 48,000, 75,000. We are inching close to that 0 line where both lines are below. So if we continue down, right, leg up and then leg down, 80,000 is potentially on the table to be broken, and 75 is on the table. Now, golden cross, death cross, RSI. Very bullish when you have golden cross above the 70. This is when you go parabolic. Golden cross above 50 means continuation to the upside and still massive gains. Okay? So once again, golden cross above, we went from 42,000 to 73. Golden cross, we went from 63,000 to 108,000. Now, I want you to see something. I did not go from 50,000. I went from 64,000. The reason being is you're waiting for a golden cross or the candle before, because once again, these are trailing indicators. So you want to get in the candle right before the golden cross. So once the RSI goes below the moving average, you are bearish. You want to break above the moving average, and you want it to be in either above the 50 in section A or the golden cross to be above the 80 in section A+. You can have a golden cross, but the next question is where? Below the 50 and above the 20, and this is section B. This is when you're going to see dead cat bounces and a high probability of a continuation to the downside, right? So golden cross, but rejection downside. Golden cross, rejection, still going, death cross. Let's look at what happened here. Let's keep it circled. Once again, a lot of movement, but we had a fake out a little bit above, and then we came back down. So when I say, as long as we're in a death cross and below the 0, and as long as the RSI is below the 50, and as long as the stochastic is below the 50, you're going to have blood. So we're looking at here to here, okay? Confirmations. Did we have a golden cross? Yes. Was the RSI below the 50? Yes. No good. We want a golden cross structure and the RSI above the moving average and above the 50. The third confirmation is you want the stochastic in a golden cross, blue above yellow, and above the 50. Very simply put, golden cross structure, above moving average and above 50, stochastic above 50. We broke the moving averages and continued all the way to the upside. Okay? Now, the first confirmation that's going to help you understand when this swing is over, right? First one is when your RSI, if it breaks above the 80, is when it breaks below the 80. Think of it like a wall. Once you break above one section, if you break below, that is the crack in the ice. And when not financial advice, I am taking profit off the table because structure is changing for the worse. We still remained in an uptrend, but your RSI, your stochastic RSI broke on the week of April 17th. Yes, we went back up to that 30,000 level, but formed hidden bearish divergence. So once again, I didn't care what the price, what the news was telling me. I was looking at visuals to help me understand what was happening in the market. Death cross here, broke of 80. This is where I was taking profit, or where you should take profit. This was also the first time that your RSI was above your moving average, and right here was the confirmation of opening up your long. I have to make another video of how to understand how much leverage you should be using and understanding the previous low, but let's just go into the confirmations. Right, so above the moving average and above the 50, okay? Second confirmation, this is the first one. Second confirmation is here, when your RSI breaks below the moving average. Now, once again, the next question is where? It's above the 50, so we're looking at the 11 and 21-day moving average as a visual. If we were to break the 50, we are breaking the moving averages, and I have the indicator where it turns different colors depending on the RSI is above or below on the time frame that you're looking at. The MACD is the slowest of the three indicators, so once it death cross, you will already 3 weeks into the opportunity. Confirmation to the upside is what? We're looking for the RSI to break above the 50 as well as above the moving average here. We're looking down to see if the stochastic is in a golden cross structure above the 50 here, and we're looking for the MACD to be in a golden cross structure here. Once again, we did not get in from 24,000 all the way to 28,000, 27,000. We waited for the week of the 16th of October, and that was a beautiful play. Once again, on a weekly time frame, when this plays out, you're looking at 180 something days until the confirmation of the take profit, which is what? Market structure the other way. So we're looking for death crosses, we're looking for the RSI to break below, and we're looking for the RSI to break below its wall, okay? We went from 50 to 80. We stayed above, stayed above, stayed above. RSI broke moving average. RSI broke 70 line. Stochastic broke below 80 line. MACD volume coming down, but is late. First take profit should have been here. Excuse me. Confirmation is here. Take profit is here. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt of 84 days and around 40 to 50%. I'm looking for the breakdown of the RSI in the 80, the breakdown of the RSI breaking the moving average, and then once again, did we death cross or did we come back up? RSI went back up, broke moving average. Stochastic went below 50. Okay, momentum's not on our side. We came back up, another confirmation. We were in a golden cross structure. RSI broke not only above 50, but is above the 80 line. We're going parabolic when that does happen. Right here, golden cross structure here. Stochastic broke up here. You're opening up your long position here, anywhere from 44 to 48,000. Your first take profit confirmations is what? We're looking for a structure change on the RSI or stochastic RSI. I noticed that this is a lower high, but the confirmation is what? Your RSI breaking below the moving average, your stochastic RSI breaking below the 80 line here. You have two confirmations showing you to take profit here at 63 to 75,000. From confirmation up here, let's just say, right? Stochastic above and RSI above in golden cross to here is from here, let's just say 50,000 to here, like I said, 65 to 70 is another 56 days of around 38 to 48%, depending on when you got in or when you got out. But once again, the confirmations are exactly the same, regardless of the ticker, regardless of the time frame. The only difference is the time frame. If we're doing the confirmations on a monthly, you're calling the bull and bear market. If you're doing it on the weekly, the 5-day, and the 4-day, you're doing the swings within the bull market. If you're doing it on like the daily, the 12-hour, and the 10-hour, you're kind of doing it within the swings of the bigger swing. If you're doing it on the 1 hour and the 30-minute, you're doing it within the swings of the macro, of the mid-time swings of the longer swing. You understand? But once again, the overall momentum of the market is the confirmations on the longer time frames. That's why when I say, when we had a death cross and the RSI broke below the 70 and the moving average, and the stochastic was below the 50 line. That's not my opinion when I said we had potential to go from 107 to 100, 101, And I said if we break 101, we're going to 92. And if we broke 92, we're going to 82. Because I'm lining up those confirmations, excuse me. It's true. Which is weird if you're from a different part of the world. My culture is if you're saying something and you sneeze, you're like, haha, those are the powers that be in the clouds that are showing you that what you're saying is true. So I use those three confirmations to give me the momentum to help me understand if we're bullish or bearish. I use the moving averages to help me understand where the magnet of the price could be if the confirmations happen and where could it go to. Confirmations play out on the 2-month, well, the 21 days on the table. You understand? If the confirmations play for the bullish side on the 12-hour, right? What happened? We went back to the moving average, back to the moving average, back to the moving average because the RSI is below the 50. If the RSI is above the 50, we break the moving averages and we're using them as support. So above the 50 support, below the 50 resistance. And you're looking at the MACD to see if the swings are below the zero line, showing you that the swings are not going to break the previous swings. You understand? This is all I try and catch. Swing down, swing up, swing down, swing up. And I try and tell you I am not trying to be a genius and get out at the wick of the 126,390 and in at the wick of the 102,993. No, I'm just trying to catch it here, open up a short, take profit, and catch it here on longer time frames. Once again, this play right here is a short. If you're looking at the confirmations, what are we looking for? We're opening up the short when? Say it. Say it so you hear it. Death cross, R side to break structure, meaning below a section line or breaking of the moving average. In this case, it was both right here. And your stochastic, which was above the 80 line the entire time of the bullish swing. Confirmation A here, confirmation B here, confirmation C here. Short could have been opened up anywhere here from the 7th to the 10th. You had 3 days to look at a chart once to be like, you know, if this happens, I mean, you know, and it did. And the confirmation was here, right here, right? And we went from 119,000 to the confirmation of the good thing now, which is what? Here, 8% in 4 days. Confirmation is the stochastic RSI breaking the structure the other way, right? Breaking the other way, this way, right? Right here is your take profit. Right here is your take profit. Right here is your take profit on your short, not your long. I'm talking about when you're thinking momentum's changing the other way. And that's it. So as of right now, if someone's like, bro, oh my God, Bitcoin went from 80 to 89,000, the first thing I look at are the confirmations because I have a clear visual that we were going to get stopped by the purple lines. And until we start seeing bullish divergence, meaning price waves on at least the 10, 12, and daily time frame, this, right, these waves that last, 2 weeks, a week, that needs to make a higher low or the same low, right? We could come back down and retest the 80,000, but we want to see are the waves of the indicators making higher lows. And as long as the RSI stays below the 50, yes, you could have a run up, but we're getting rejected by the moving average. That's why I said on this weekly time frame, I'll end it here, we're so overextended. If we do form that bullish divergence on the daily, and the 2-day, and the 3-day, we could have a run up. But as long as the RSI stays below what? If we see rejection like we did here, and we do something like this, but it's here, lining up with the moving average and the 50 line, we're going to see rejection from what? The moving averages, like we did here. If the stochastic does not break the 20, it doesn't head to the 50 and break above the 50, and if the RSI doesn't break the 50 and we don't see a golden cross, could be a pump, but rejection from the moving averages, like, something like this. Because once again, this was one short that I was telling people, like, death cross structure below 0 line, stochastic below 50. This was 70%, 364 days until what? Until what? The RSI was above the moving average and above the 50. We were in a golden cross structure and your stochastic was above the 50. And that's when I was telling people 17,000, 15,000, 13,000. And from 20,000 to where the play is now, that is a cool 1,000 days of 500-600%. That's the video, 25 minutes. Love you. Watch it again. Look at the confirmations. Go to different tickers. Look at the confirmations. Go to different sectors. Look at the confirmations. Look at your mother. Look at the confirmations. Seriously, bro. Look at the confirmations and tell me if it works. Come back, leave it in the comment section. Enjoy the day.